was a new experience. You know, I've never done it before, so I thought, why not? I heard about the drama group through a casting call website called Mandy. I also heard about Tony through there as well. Yeah, the acting group is based on black men's mental health, and personally, for me, I believe that it really helped, as it helped me express certain emotions, get certain things off my chest without being judged, which is what I loved about it the most. And there's also a few things I can relate even when it's not happening to me, or if it's happening to someone else as part of the group, you just feel that you can relate to it and you understand it.
Dealings and getting money through their dealings, and Kwame's a bit more,
So I came across a WhatsApp message about, black males needed to perform in a drama group, and I think, this is something that I can do. I knew that I had creative talent. I knew that I had qualities. I could make people laugh. I could joke around. I told Tony I am an occupational therapist assistant. I said I can give some insight. Been doing it now for about 2 years, and I really, really enjoy it. It is, doing the drama group is also my therapy as well, because I can talk openly, candidly. I can talk about the black experience, being a worker, supporting people of colour within the mental health system. And also, as a regular person out on the street, when I see some of these people said, "Oh, you're the guy in the show. I really enjoyed it. How can I get support?" And I signpost them sometimes to the group, or sign them on to other therapeutic services that they may benefit from.
What I don't like is, yeah, I'm fine, have a great week, I'm not interested. Next.
Alright, okay, on a serious note, this drama group has made me feel more comfortable within myself. It's also, surprisingly enough, although I'm a very private person, I come here and I'm able to open up, share scenarios about my life, and this is the first group that I've been able to share the experiences that I've had. And I believe suffering in silence is the worst thing you can do, opening up and showing your emotions. And men are emotional. We are designed to not show emotions. But I'm a very emotional person, and I believe that it makes a stronger man to open up, and even a stronger man to cry than to hold everything in.
I came to this social distance drama group to gain and practice further my knowledge in the theatre drama. I felt like I wanted to explore more what it's like performing on stage, being as I haven't been acting since I was the age of 13, and also to further develop my confidence and performance skills, really.
Well, this group is it is like two birds, one stone, because I'm definitely improving as an actor, the different workshops. Before we even get into everything, the check-ins, just finding out where everybody's at, just sharing different ideas and sharing how everybody's been feeling. And yeah, it's definitely improved many areas of my life, I'd say. I feel like there's definitely camaraderie there, so it's just nice to know that this group exists where we can come and just speak about things that I can't necessarily speak to about everything to everybody. In this group, I feel like we're all connected, and that just feels good to me. It feels good to know that I've got that base of just mandem there, we're all on the same level, and everybody's just getting to know each other and how we can help each other.
Ultimately, I get a look at a perspective of different black men from different ages, and we've all gone through some sort of trauma or have faced some sort of hostility while living in this country. And on that note, I feel as though I can band together, and it makes you feel like you are not the only one who is being covertly, verbally abused at work, or in a place of distress. It helps me to realize that, black men are human, just like everyone else, but because of the stereotypes and the stigma which has been given to black males, it's this group helps me to clarify the nonsense from the sense.
Can we learn some other things other than the game? Because the audience are watching you play dominoes. So the way that you play the game, they're going to learn that. But the dialogue is different from what you're doing.
My mental health has been, I would say, enhanced as a result of being a part of the Black Men's Mental Health Group, because I find that it gives me an opportunity to both share my own issues that I might be experiencing currently or historically, as well as hearing of the other issues that my fellow men are kind of sort of bringing, and it gives us an opportunity to mutually support each other. Mental health is a wide spectrum, so whilst I may not have necessarily been hospitalized, for having a mental health that brought me into hospital, I have had my own mental health challenges, and I've found that this group I call it a group which enables me to cathartic. That just basically means gives me an opportunity to express my own anxieties, emotional states in a very mutually supportive environment, which is vitally necessary for Black men at this moment in time.
They're going to do their thing for like 5 seconds. Whilst that's going on, we're all copying that person's movement. So they're going to bust some move, whatever it is.
So what I take away from this is at least knowing that all of us Black men, from the older generation, the middle age generation, and our age generation, we have a lot in common. We learn from each other. We're able to share ideas and communicate very well, as we've got a very good setup and a very good team. Like in terms of motivation, communication, and just talking with all the other men around here made it a lot easier for everyone to like come out of their shell a bit. So if you had like a little problem, you could say it because no one was judging. Everyone was just like, yeah, I understand, or I was in that situation before, I know what it means. And the form of like motivation, communication, talking to each other, and just actually listening to each other shows you that we really do care about each other, and we can really help those who have problems with their mental health by simply having a conversation.
He's a Christian. Yeah, and so is he taking away the power? Yes or no?
No, he's not doing nothing.
No, not you can't talk. Anybody else? Come on. No, audience.
Nothing.
Who's got the power?
I think what I've taken away personally is the fact that, generally speaking, I didn't realize how a pandemic mental health is amongst Black men. Black people in general, to be honest, but more specifically in this context, Black men. Working with these guys, it also made me realize that, at the end of the day, if you keep something like this in yourself or to yourself, it's 10 times worse. But when you come in this environment and you realize that everybody's kind of feeling the same way you are, it doesn't necessarily feel that bad because you can share. You got something in common. In fact, that's what brings you together. And then you can sit and laugh about it. I mean, it's the same old thing when you meet up with another brother. You say to him, do you remember when your mother used to beat you? Back in the days, that felt painful. But now you laugh at it. And I think, I'm not trivializing mental health, but I'm also saying, it's great that you can sit there and say, you know what, I'm not the only one feeling like this. And it's great to be amongst men who actually feel similar as I do or we do.
Particularly by the police, you did this, you were seen here. Powerlessness of the voice is being denied. An image comes to mind, that's a really powerful image, someone being denied their voice. Where can you speak your truth, and whom can you speak the truth to? So we're going to go back into making, because essentially, we're looking for
My name's Tony
material
Seeley.
for our play.
I'm a social justice arts practitioner, and I've been working using arts for about 25 years now, working in the community, criminal justice, education, housing and regeneration, youth and community, and in mental health and drugs and substance misuse. So essentially I've worked right across the board providing projects and programs that help with the education and raising the awareness of our social problems that exist in our community.
You can use sounds, words or phrases, whatever you feel is right that goes with you.
The Black Men's Drama Group came about in 2018 when I was interested in working with men, but this time I wanted to work specifically with black men, because at that point I had realised that Lambeth had high rates of black men committing suicide, and I wanted to do something that was going to raise the awareness of black men and mental health. So I started a project, the Black Men's Drama Group, in 2018, and what we did, we worked for about 6 or 7 weeks with about 45 men that came along initially who joined the project, and we used drama and theatre techniques to explore mental health and well-being, and we put on a performance at the end of October which was shown to the wider community.
You know, this one's really, really clear and strong. That's definitely clear because it's at a lower level, the angle. This with that, that, and this with the arms, you know, it's really clear. We've got 4 distinct images. Maybe next week we'll have 5. So let's just quickly find each one of them are going to do a movement that goes with what they represent. It's just a movement, repetitious movement that they're going to do that goes with what they are representing. 3, 2, 1, go with that movement. Just the movement, just no sound, just movement. Just the movement only. If you can make it a little bit bigger, what you're doing.
So I've been using creative activities in my work and always exploring different sort of games, exercises and techniques that can be used to allow people to play and discover whilst they play, particularly what they're thinking and what they're feeling when they're actually working in the group. One of the things that I've noticed is that with the creative work that I'm doing, particularly the drama, it allows men to really tune into that sense of play, which a lot of men haven't done for a very long time. And I think when they see others having fun and being playful, it really does encourage a kind of spirit and a really great atmosphere in these sessions. And so I think, personally speaking, using creative games and exercises and drama techniques, the men in the group really find that beneficial, and they find it's almost like that's the sort of license that they're allowed to sort of let go of all the stress that they're carrying or the worries that they've had before they come into the workshop, and just get on with actually playing and being together and forming bonds and friendships with men. And that, I think, is one of the keys to the work, and it allows them to really feel that they are participating in something meaningful and memorable.
I can disconnect from them, but at some point, if I don't reconnect, it's kind of unhealthy.
Because that's the thing I was kind
In this particular program, this cycle, I was particularly interested in the psychoeducation, the psychosocial education of the men. And so I employed Claire Douglas, who's from the Resilience Foundry, to work with me. And her job was really just to educate the men around some of the things that are really important in the men's lives, like dealing with relationships, managing failure, these kinds of things that she was able to kind of work with the men before I actually did the creative work. She actually came along and worked with them in a group work style that was very, very effective. And they got a lot out of that. And so that learning was then being able to dramatize some of the scenarios and situations that the men talked about in her session. We were able to explore those situations through the drama.
This group is losing.
I was specifically interested in this time working not only with black men, but I was really interested in having an intergenerational cast. of performers come and work on the project, because during the pandemic I engaged with a lot more younger members than I normally would work with on the project. And so when we started in June, there was a lot more younger people aged 18, in people in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, 50s and 60s that attended the project. So it felt like a very rich and broad range of men that were coming to the project. And even as far as Birmingham, people were travelling way into London, into Brixton to attend this project. So the word was getting out there that people needed to come to somewhere where they felt safe, where they would be unjudged, where they felt that they would be able to have a space to talk about the important issues, particularly around black men and their mental health issues, which is very much still taboo in our communities. So this felt like a place where they could just come along and be playful and feel that they didn't have to pretend, didn't have to wear a mask.
That kind of thing is so deep in us, well, in some of us, that we can't access it. We don't know how to access it. So that's why we're struggling to do these emotions on here, because it's alien, it's like an alien language to us. And that's what I'm seeing, because even when I go, I'm struggling to think, what is love? What is in the body? How does that feel? How does that? I'm struggling to reflect that in terms of that thing. I don't know if you guys feel the same, you're struggling to do that. Even at the pace you're going, it should be something instinctive, but we're struggling because we're not able to go below the surface at this moment. I think that's the issue here.
Okay, so we've got anger, we've got logic, we've got doubt, insecurity, and we're looking for the last one. Hope could be one, or if it's not hope, what else could it be? What was we just doing there that brought up all this big lust? Lust.
Yeah, I got confused.
What is the one that you kind of go, my money? Love's got to be up there more than hope. Yeah. Love's got to be up there more than lust. Yeah. So black men don't lust and have desires and fantasies.
Of course they do.
So why are we not showing any of that stuff?
You said we have 5 emotions.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, why are we not showing any of that stuff?
Because maybe past generations, whether you're black or white, are not raised on love, and all they want to be is to be loved. So when they're in their teens and they find a girl, they want to be loved, but maybe it didn't work out, so they're still trying to be, I just want to love you. It's not going to happen, so that's maybe the one thing they're looking for. But then they don't know how to love somebody because they haven't been raised in that way, so it causes all many confusions.
So in this news cycle, we started in June, and all I knew is that we wanted to make a new play, or it would be great if the men made a new play, and that's what they really were coming for, as well as dealing with their mental health. And so during rehearsals, we didn't have any idea of what the play was going to be about. We knew it was about our character Kwame in a particular situation that relate to a lot of black men. And so we started rehearsing each Monday evening, 6 till 9. And the work that they did was based around their personal experiences that they had found themselves in or had problems in which were unresolved. So they were dramatizing a lot of the sketches, and the scenarios came from their own personal lives. And each week we would pick out the most key, vital, important scenes that they felt that needed to be in the play. And that's kind of how we structured the play and took those scenes that were important, polished them, rehearsed them, and made them into the performance. And by the time the end of August came, we had a full-blown production. And that production had its first release, if I'm not mistaken, on the 28th of August here in Brixton Library. And it was to a rapturous crowd, a sold-out audience, an amazing feedback, which if you go onto the website, the Black Men's Consortium, you'll be able to see and hear.
Show's over.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Coming today, we really appreciate it. I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic time this evening. We're going to be starting performance shortly. We're just waiting for some good weather. As you know, this is going to be the highlight of your week because there's no concert this weekend. Yes, this is going to be a great time. So when we get the drums, I'm surprised somebody stood up and started dancing. You were like, you know what I mean? There's no rhythm there. We need a bit of rhythm. Let's see these people can dance. Let's see what happens. Come on, come on. They ain't got time, man. Come on, again. You know what I mean? Come on, come on, come on.
One team will start off first, either team will say one, all together as a group, as if you're one voice. The other team will then respond by saying two, as if they are all one voice. And then finally, the other team will say three. Then the other team starts with 1, 2, 3, and then the other team starts with 1, 2, 3. So it just goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You have different movements or actions for one. Don't be having the same one. You have a sound for 2 that you repeat at the same time over and over, and you still say 3 together as the word 3. So what's your sound? Ooh. No, it's not a clap. Got like ooh.
Listen, when I was growing up, I cooked the best curry mutton in the history. Man, what's taking so long, bro? Bro, relax, bro. Hurry up, man. What's wrong with you, bro?
What's my go back way?
Yeah.
I'm saying we've done all this together, we've done the roads, we've done everything together.
Bro, okay, man, saying something. Okay. What you saying, though?
Man, I've got feelings for the book.
What did you now? You keep my son full promises. What's wrong with you? I'm about to give him a start.
You haven't got nothing to do, nothing to start it with.
It's like, sure it's legit, guys, it's safe. Like, I'm not gonna get caught, I'm not gonna get caught in no drama.
But you got right. Listen there, young lad. Once it's been you. All right.
Why is it hard to do?
Don't ask me.
Forget what my dad says. Forget all that shit that you did before. I know people make mistakes, I know they come back. I made a mistake, and I'm coming back. I don't know if you're coming back, but I'm coming back.
Thank you very much. That's the end of the show. Thank you. And this part of the show really is really open to you, wonderful audience, to help us find some.
Achieved our level of depth, which also then caused an issue of disassociation with the son, or should I say the son, which is the dad. Therefore, he had issues therefore with himself. He didn't do his own stuff. Therefore, resulted in his own son, his grandson now, therefore having a life of, let's say, a roadman. So therefore, one infidelity, one moment of lifetime of madness led to 2 generations being broken.
Now, the ideas that you spoke of, the interventions that you spoke of, they may be the things that could help save somebody. Choose a different alternative in the future.
No, not like that, but there are little things that I can do to just sort of manage how I'm feeling, so I can just make the house.
So there is an invitation from the audience, I understand. Scene that you feel that you'd like to kind of work through to unblock some of
actually understand what it is to have the lived experience. However, flip the script, when you have the lived experience, you don't know what it is to actually put plans in place. So I'm telling you to do something, but you don't know how to do it the way I want it to be done. Go back. I don't know actually how to provide you with what you need, because I've never had what you've had. So there's a communication error there. So to have people sit down where you actually had mental health issues, you've got over it. You're the one that's actually making the policies, so you can tell me how my lived experience can actually be dealt with through infrastructure. That is a constructive way to have two sets of people who have had different worlds, but they're both fighting for the same goal.
We've experienced some trauma coming into this country from abroad. We've experienced some trauma in the system. This is how it affected me. This is how it affected my decisions. This is how it affected my parenting. So even as I sat down and I watched the scene of the granddad and then the son and their interactions, I'm like, wow, the importance of not only legacy, but community, the importance of having a tough conversation. Well, mum, dad, granddad, maybe we should have thought about establishing my generation and we would have maybe been able to stand on your shoulders. So it's about having that tough conversation to say, maybe we are where we